I'm so excited to be back and to share this video with you guys today, which is going to be on how to prep your model skin before a shoot. Now, the reason why we want to prep our model skin is we want to make sure we've got a good canvas to work on. You can have the best foundations and the best primers, but if your model skin isn't properly prepped, it can make your work quite difficult, and it can make it hard to get a beautiful finish, especially if you are doing something like close-up beauty shoots. And the other thing I need to just mention to you guys is I do realize that time is an issue, especially for us here. Our industry here in South Africa, I don't know if it is like that everywhere else. Let me know if you do know. But I often only get an hour to do hair and makeup, even if it's for a fashion editorial. If I'm lucky, an hour and a half, but that's kind of the maximum time that I'm allowed. So that does make it a bit more difficult to actually prep my model skin properly and fully. But then there are times where I do like beauty TV commercials where we're shooting in 4K, which is very, very high resolution and shows every single detail. And then they give me 3 hours to prep my model, and that allows me to get her ready from head to toe, to make sure her hair is pristine and perfectly styled, to make sure her skin is looking good, and to do a manicure. So I'm going to share both of those scenarios with you and what I do before I do makeup. So the first thing I do is I cleanse the skin. I don't use a face wash or something that requires water, just because I find it's quite impractical for on set. I don't always have a basin available to carry a bowl with me that I can, use the water, decant the water in, or to try find hot water, or it's just too much of a mission. So I'll use something like a sensitive face wipe, but my favorite that I like using is my BIODERMA Sensibio H2O. They sell it in a bigger bottle. They don't sell these smaller bottles. But then what I do is I just put that onto 2 cotton rounds, and then I'll just, cleanse the skin with this. While I'm cleansing the skin, I also try and just do a bit of a massage, and I'm always working towards the hairline upwards, towards the ears, from the chin on the jaw upwards. The reason for the bit of a massage is to stimulate the blood flow and just invigorate the skin a little bit. After cleansing the skin, I exfoliate the lips. This is from the BODYSHOP, I think it's called Lipscuff or something like that. And I just give it to the model, and then she applies it onto her lips like this. After she's used it, I make sure that I spritz this with my isopropyl to make sure that it's clean for the next person that's going to use it. And then I just ask the model to sit there and just buff her lips with her finger. Once she's done with that, we just use a wet wipe, and I gently just wipe off the product from her lips. Then I use a hydrating spritzer. I really love Dermalogica's Antioxidant Hydramist. And we just spritz it from a few centimeters away, 15 centimeters, 20 centimeters away. Spritz that all over, make sure you get it well spread. If you are on a budget, then something like your AVENE thermal spring water is also great. Then while this is still a little bit damp on the face, I like using a hydrating serum. Dermalogica's Skin Hydrating Booster is beautiful. And with this one, you literally just use 2 drops. Spread that on my hands, and then I'll just press that onto the skin, onto the neck, the jawline. Again, if you are budget conscious, then AVENE also has a beautiful hydrating serum that also works very well. Okay, so now our skin has got a beautiful hydrating booster on it, and my skin already feels much better, a bit more plump. After my hydrating serum, I'll put something on the lips. I love this Elizabeth Arden, what is this called? 8-hour cream lip protectant stick. It's got an SPF of 15. I love this. And the other product that I've really been loving is, it's recently launched in South Africa, Dr. PAW PAW Original Balm, multi-purpose soothing balm. Great on men as well, because it doesn't make your lips shiny. So I use this on men when I prep their skin as well. Then for moisturizer, it depends on what skin type is in front of me. If somebody's got oily skin, then I'll use something like my AVENE mattifying fluid. When it comes to the skincare products that I use on set, I do like to make sure that it is suited for all skin types, and that it's not very, very high in active ingredients, just because I would hate it if my models got sensitive skin and their skin reacts. So AVENE's products is great for sensitive skin. So mattifying fluid, that one works well. If I've got somebody that's got really, really really oily skin and I know we're going to be shooting on film and I know that it's a hot day and I really need to keep the shine at bay, I use Pond's Lasting Oil Control. It's not my favorite because it really makes the skin quite matte, so it's not something that I would want to use on somebody every day, but it works wonders on set when I really have to problem solve. But the moisturizer that I love using the most is from BIONIKE and it's called Defense Hydra 5. I've shown you guys this one before and I've used it on all skin types and it works beautifully. It's also made for sensitive skin, highly reactive skin, anything like that. So what I would do is I would put that in my hand, I would smear it in my hands, and then I would start working it into the model's face. So I would first blot it on, spread it all over, but then I would just start massaging the face and again just working up towards the hairline, massage that moisturizer into the face, waking up the skin. After moisturize, I got to apply some sunscreen. If I'm shooting in studio, then I obviously won't apply sunscreen. But if I'm shooting outdoors, then we definitely need to apply sunscreen. And I love using the BIODERMA Photoderm Max 50 Plus. This is more for a combination to drier skin types. For really oily skin types, the Photoderm AKN Matte SPF 30 works quite well. On darker skin, you just have to be careful. On darker skin, I do prefer using like a clear gel, or Nivea has a invisible, it's like a spritzer invisible spray that I use on their skin. I have used this on dark skin, but not on dark skin. So like medium to dark, these work very well. So I don't have oily skin, so I'm going to use the Photoderm Max and apply that on myself. And again, the same process as my moisturizer. I like to just make sure that I spread it all over and then give it a gentle massage into the skin. Now our skin is prepped and ready to start with makeup. When I do makeup, I sometimes use a primer depending on what the skin looks like in front of me. Really, if I have problem skin, then, or not problem skin, but skin that I can see might turn out to be problematic during the day, then I'll use a primer. But other than that, if they've got good healthy skin, once their skin is beautifully hydrated, I just put my makeup on top of that. But if somebody's got like a very oily T-zone, then I'll use something like my Benefit, the Professional. The stuff works amazingly. And if somebody's got dehydrated skin, I really love the MAQUILLAGE Pro's makeup mixer. So this is a beautiful product. It can be used as a primer, it can be mixed in with foundations, you can make your own makeup with this stuff. Beautiful makeup mixer. It's also really good to freshen up the makeup during the day, so you can put it over foundation. So it's really, really lovely. So that was the short version, and believe it or not, but that can take 5 minutes, you know, so it's not a very long process, but that's what I would do with each and every model before each and every shoot. If I am allowed more time, the only difference that I would do is when I'm cleansing her skin with these pads, I would just take a little bit of extra time just to really kind of exfoliate the skin. And just really, really rub and make sure that I get a good clean in there. I don't use exfoliators on set. The one reason is because of the water situation. But I know there's some exfoliators you can just put on, leave on, and then you can remove it again. The reason why I don't want to use that is because I don't know how my model skin is going to react to the specific exfoliator that I'm using. So for me, the safest way is really just to buff the skin a little bit, just really, really gently. And then, so the long version, I would put a hydrating mask on the skin. The one that I enjoy using is from AVENE, and it's the Soothing Moisture Mask. So I'll layer the skin in the Soothing Moisture Mask, leave them for a bit, and then I'll carry on doing their hair or their nails or whatever else I need to do. And I'll leave that on, I think they say 10 to 15 minutes, yeah. So I'll see what time allows, and then I'll put a hydrating mask on, and I'll clean that off again with my BIODERMA, and then follow the exact steps that I've just shown you. The other thing that is also important is once you've done all of this prep and I've put the sunscreen on, I do just leave the skin a little bit. I'll go on to doing her nails or starting to style the hair just to let it settle a little bit, just so that it can all absorb into the skin. So those of you that are makeup artists that, you see the models first thing in the morning and you see what they look like, you will start noticing what a difference it makes to really, really prep your model skin properly and how it wakes them up. Now, there's one trick that I have for a model that comes with puffy eyes. Which often happens, especially with men as well. And I know people have said using hemorrhoid cream, things like that. I'm always just very cautious. I would hate to put something on my model's skin and her skin reacts. So my trick is I find 2 teaspoons or 2 spoons and I go pop them in a fridge, or somewhere there'll be a cooler box with ice in it. Or even just if I use them as the cold metal. Or the other thing you can do is you spritz them with your water spritzer. So I've got my 2 spoons. You spritz them with your water spritzer to get them just to be a bit cooler. And then you take those spoons, I prefer putting them in the fridge, and I just let the model just slowly, like, just roll them over her eyes. And that coolness, you have no idea what a difference it makes. It takes a bit of time to settle in, but then I just leave her to it, and she just gently presses the spoons onto her face, and just bringing that cool to the eye area really reduces the puffing. So that's my little spoon trick. And that's basically that. I hope that has been helpful for you guys. I hope that it makes a big difference in your makeup application and what your makeup looks like in front of the camera. Personally, I find that it makes a huge difference for me. It really makes my makeup look so much better. So good luck, and I'll see you in the next one.